Constipation may be one of those issues that rarely gets discussed openly, but it affects many of us regularly. About 16 out of 100 adults struggle with it, and that number jumps to about 33 out of 100 for people over 60. It's not just uncomfortable, it can affect how you feel, think, and function day to day. So Sam, what causes constipation and how do you start to address it?
So constipation can be many different reasons. One thing, and I pointed out a lot, is people think adding fiber, especially our AIDS community, they think, oh, fiber, fiber, fiber. Guess what? Fiber can be constipating. Too much is not good. But dehydration's a big one. And then our intestines, our gut slows down as we age, so the digestive process doesn't work quite as well. And so those muscles also change up. But there's a lot of different causes. It's getting to what's causing yours. Yeah. Medication, especially pain meds, are a big factor. And so finding out what's causing it and then coming back and trying to correct it.
Yeah, because when you have constipation, that's your body's way of telling you something's off.
Yep.
So then you have to start looking. So you're right. You take a lot of fiber and not enough water, and guess what's going to happen? The two together.
That's right.
But then also, constipation is more problematic and causes more problems than people realize, because when that stool is retention of stool there, you're evacuating water, so now you're getting more dehydrated, and then you're recirculating toxins.
That's
and
right.
those recirculating of the toxins is what makes people feel brain fog and
That's
bloated.
right, confusion.
That. So that's how we get rid of our toxins. We either pee it out, poop it out, sweat it out, but bowel movements are a major way of getting rid of toxins.
Okay.
Yeah, caregiving, every caregiver needs to know how important bowel movements are, what they look like, what they literally, the colors, the textures, all of those things. And diarrhea is actually a sign of constipation.
Right.
Yeah.
Where I see it really be problematic is in the facility setting, like nursing homes, assisted living. It's like the statistics are staggering. So if you do have someone in a facility, I would want you to meet with the nurse director. I'd want you to meet with the staff, with a registered dietitian, to see how are they tracking the bowel movements, what are they doing if they're getting too many laxatives. And I was reading some articles in the American Academy of Neurology about the correlation of increased laxative use and dementia. So I really felt motivated to get this information out to people to take action in the communities with the powers that be to get back on track to regular bowel movements.
I think one reason you see it so much in the facilities is that movement is a big part of getting bowels to move.
Yeah.
Movement is a huge part. And so that whole system starts to slow down, you know, the vagus nerve and all that. And the other thing is, if your body is in a stress, if you're stressed, that's in that fight or flight. If the tiger is chasing you, you're not going to sit down to eat or go to the restroom.
No.
Right.
So that same thing, you shift into this survivor mode.
Yeah.
So you have to always get us back into that safety mode.
Interesting.
So that you can.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know
That's right.
travel can affect that too. For people.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Any kind of change of routine. I had a friend that I used to travel with all the time for business, and she would say, well, I think I'm going to have my lucky moment. I thought that was so funny. And I think about that all the time. But I also think there's this thing about your lucky moment should just be one time a day.
No. So if you only eat one time a day, then okay.
Right.
But what goes in must come out. But in addition to what you're eating, the other thing is you eat carbs, you eat fat, you eat protein. Your body's using that for energy. Right?
Right.
But it has to have these byproducts as a result of that. So you're creating all these toxins. So you have to get those out as well. So it's going to be even more than just the number of meals. You have these other processes. And then if you're inflamed, your gut is your second brain. So if your gut is inflamed, guess what? Your brain's inflamed. Because that vagus nerve is connecting everything.
Interesting.
And that might not be something that people hear very often from their general practitioner. And
Because we think everything is compartmentalized. The body is not like that.
It's not.
It's not
And
like
so,
that.
you know, a warm cup of coffee in the morning is usually a really good mover. And if you're not a coffee drinker, any kind of warm beverage can get that gut moving again. Making sure that you up your fluid intake. I'm not a fan of laxative use because It slows that muscle process down.
Yeah.
But movement, exercise.
Movement,
Exercise,
exercise.
blood flow and all that, that gets people going.
And if they're in a community, there's an activities program, there's an activities director, there's a wellness director, there's a restorative program. So take advantage of those to get the body moving. If the person's confined to a wheelchair, use those internal activities programs and rehabilitation programs to get them moving.